I got to play your game yesterday a lot. Not a lot. Some would say a few quick matches I got in. Sorry. So I thought it was really interesting. I played your bot. Your bot is really strong and not. I wonder if you're not a Smash player or like a Street Fighter, whatever. Mainly Smash player. I think your game like kind of connects to Smash like the most or whatever. I would say like just with the verticality and all that kind of stuff. It beat my buns pretty hard. I did a 3 stock, 6 minutes. I fought him the first time, lost. I fought as the swordsman. Fought him the second time as the archer, and then I tried the wizard. I really liked a lot of the aspects of the characters, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I thought overall, I just thought the interesting thing was being an experienced Smash player, getting into this. I got it really quick. First try, got to 30% of beating him. Next try, got to 60% of beating him. Third try, beat him. But there was a lot of differences from what I'm used to in my past gaming experiences that are like switched up that I thought was really interesting. Like the recoveries, the shields, no grabs, no ledge grabs. No ledge grabs I really liked. And I didn't know any of this until I played your tutorial, which kind of not played it, which I love your UI and all this kind of stuff. But your tutorial was so simple. It's 3 pages and it's just like the simplest.
It's like a little manual.
Yeah, it's literally like these are the differences of what you're used to, basically. No grabs, no ledge grabs, no shields. And then the next one is no recoveries. You have like multiple recoveries. And then there's one more thing. But it's very interesting. As soon as I caught, and then it takes advantage of wave dashing, which in Super Smash, Melee, it's like kind of a glitch. Is it glitching technically or whatever?
It's
like
technically, it's an unintended result of like the way they coded their movement.
Which I've played the newer Smash Bros. And it's just very funny how like I haven't wave dashed in a while since I was like 12, literally 20 years ago or whatever. And it's very funny how I didn't realize that wave dashing was that integral to a few quick matches. So once I read that, he wants me to do this, then my whole gameplay style the freedom was unlocked, and my gameplay style completely changed back to like when I used to play Smash and play Fox and just like dash around the whole map, and I really like. It's almost like with wave dashing and the way a few quick matches feels once you start playing that way. I feel like it's I don't know if it's like an anime style thing, but it just feels like you're like dashing towards your enemy and then you're like doing a strong attack and then you're like you're jumping around the map constantly. I thought an interesting thing was also your rolling mechanic too. You have a rolling mechanic, but it kind of like locks you for a second after doing it. That I'm like, are you trying to discourage people to roll and just do the wave dash?
Yeah, this is like a personal thing where I just don't like defensive options in video games. And which is kind of funny because even in Smash, like my main bad habit was to run up and then shield and like wait for them to do something. And I had to like completely burn that out of my brain for this game. But I just like fighting. I just want to hit people, and
dude, I love violence.
I just want to hit them. And,
violence is sick.
Part of it was a time constraint thing because I made this game and like all the gameplay mechanics and everything you see I made in 2 months. So
By the way, I was shocked when Pluto told us that. That's not the first time that Pluto's told us that. When we were like, wait, back up. How long did it take you to do this?
I speed ran, and it was not an easy 2 months. I worked like 16 hours a day most of those 2 months.
Yeah.
But so a lot of the cutbacks were just due to time constraints, and it's really hard to balance defensive mechanics. Like you have to pick how long people are going to be stuck in shield if their shield gets hit and they can't come out immediately. You're going to have to do that for every single attack, every interaction. You have to figure out like how good the shield is. And if you just don't have it, you just cut out so much balance, like bullshit, essentially, that you just don't have to think about it anymore. And
be honest, did you have a shield in the game at first?
Not in this one, no. I made another platform fighter before this one, and that one does have shielding, rolling, everything basically from like a traditional platform fighter or Smash.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of like found the bones of this game, and then like that was like that was more than 2 months, but
I've been working on that game for 2 years, and kind of the knowledge of that game is the only reason I was able to do this in 2 months.
So what was the origin story for this game? Unless Nick, you want to jump in with a different question.
I would say let's go back a little further because Pluto, you and I have had discussions about your origins in this space, which funny enough, are pretty similar to mine.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know a little bit about your background and lead into the background of the game from that.
Yeah. So I started animating stick figures like 20 years ago. I think it was exactly in 2003, 2005, something like that. Anyway, 20 years. And I've been in the stick figure community since about 2007, 2008, like very active. And it's still going. Like people think it's just gone. It was like an old Flash thing in like the the early 2000s or whatever, but it kind of peaked at the late 2000s and just kind of stuck around. So I've just always been a part of that community, and that's that's all I did for a long time. It's where I learned to animate, and then eventually started doing like freelance commissions.
Is the stick figure community mainly only animation, or is it also like games featuring stick figures?
So there were Flash games that were like stick figure related, but the animations always were more popular, and Flash games without stick figures were also like a completely separate thing. There was like a whole war between like Newgrounds, not stick figures, and stick figures, and it was like there's so much history. There should be a documentary. There really
is there
should.
like Black Sheep is like one of the websites too that had the stick figure
albino
stuff?
Black Sheep.
Yep,
yeah, that's a
Black
weird
Sheep,
name in hindsight, but
yeah.
Soulja Boy. People don't know this. This is my favorite fact. Soulja Boy used to make stick figure fights before he was famous. His stuff is still on Newgrounds. It's very embarrassing. It's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Before he was making consoles.
I mean, that was my introduction to like really getting going on game dev was stick figure animations, and my introduction.
No, I thought meant to be my introduction to game dev was Soulja Boy.
No,
or crank that and just knew I had to make games. You know?
Now I just got to
make that stick figure.
No, but like that's also why I got into programming as deep as I did. Because before I just wanted to be the animator for games, but the thing that got me programming was making websites to host my crappy Flash, Macromedia Flash, I should say, not Adobe Flash. The Macromedia Flash stick figure videos in games and stuff like that. Yeah. And I remember, like, I think the first one I saw, and I'm sure this is the same for a lot of the folks in that community, was the Xiao Xiao 3, I think.
Yep, that's the one.
And funny enough, Xiao Xiao 4 or whatever, I think was like a shooter, on-rail shooter, where you're like a cowboy
every one of them was very different.
Yeah.
But 3 is the best. 3 is like by far and away everybody's like entry into stick figure animation. If you're around our age, that was the one. Like you saw that and you're like, I want to make those, or you saw it and didn't care. And those are the only two outlets.
What is Xiao Xiao, by the way?
Xiao Xiao. So Xiao Xiao is like just the first stick figure animator, basically. He just started uploading like little stick fights. I think it was all the way back. There's a whole timeline, but it's somewhere around like
2003, 2004.
2003. Yeah. I think Xiao Xiao 3 was 2003. And that's what created the scene, was just this one random dude who was kind of like inspired by Kung Fu movies. And he was just animating them. And he was never even like in the community. That's the craziest part. He started it and started the fad, but like he was never, no one's ever talked to that dude outside of like Nike, because Nike sued him, or he sued Nike. It was weird.
For stick figures?
Nike used a stick figure in one of their advertisements, and Zhu, the guy who created Xiao Xiao, sued them for a stick figure because they thought it was too close. And he won originally. He actually won the case somehow, because apparently you could copyright a stick figure, and then a couple years later they were like, never mind. Like you can't win that.
How much money?
I don't even remember, but it was a lot. It was significant.
It's funny too that you were saying earlier. I feel like I met a guy recently that was like really into keyboards, and I was like, he like mechanical keyboards and game keyboards. I was like, how deep does the keyboard game world go? And he's like, more than the computer world. And I was like, really, or whatever. But he was talking about how deep that is. And when you just mentioned stick figure community, it's like how deep does a stick figure thing go? And it's like, because as an artist, like literally everybody that sees you draw will say, oh, I can barely draw a stick figure.
Yeah.
Because everybody can, or whatever. Yeah. Like how deep does that stick figure community go?
It goes deeper than you want to know. I think I've just found that out about every niche thing that's ever, especially on the internet. Like if there's a group of 10 people who have a hobby, all of a sudden it's like the deepest rabbit hole possible within that thing. But I mean, stick figure stuff is, like I said, it's still going strong. A lot of us, not me, because I didn't want to do this, but a lot of stick figure animators ended up working in the anime industry. I mean, I know people who are working on like One Piece, people who are working on everything. That's kind of like the pipeline. So the people who stick with it kind of just are there forever.
Yeah, I mean, like the guys I know, Rob Den Bleicher and Chris Wilson, went on to do Explasm or Cyanide and Happiness, and like now those guys are killing it.
So when it comes to the actual like game dev part, first of all your games stick figures?
Yeah, all 3 so far had to do with stick figures. This is the first one I've actually finished and released. So the other 2 are very much kind of on the back burner at the moment. But yeah, I didn't really start getting into game dev until I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. We started working on a stick figure project. And that was like my entry to it. I always wanted to make games. I just didn't know any code whatsoever. And, I did the classic try for a couple tutorials and still have absolutely no idea what's going on, and then close Unity and destroy it off my computer and never touch it again. But but the first game, I had a friend named Shuriken who he's just God. And when it comes to code, and I was going to make all the art, he was going to do all the code. And so that was kind of my entry to it. And then with the platform fighter, I started learning at least enough to code like the attacks and the mechanics of the game. I still can't do back-end stuff whatsoever. But yeah, just kind of slowly over the years, I've been learning enough to make a full game.
What are all your games made in?
The first one was made in Love because Shuri was really into Love and Lua. The next 2 are both in Game Maker because there's a thing called Platform Fighter Engine created by Yossi, and it's kind of already got the bare bones for what you need for a platform fighter, and I've just been working on top of that.
So is it basically like a plugin for Game Maker?
Like a plugin for Game Maker, like an already pre-built code system in Game Maker that already has like the rollback net code, and it's absurd, and it used to be even cheaper than it is now. It's like the best $30 I ever spent in my life because it gives me rollback
slightly
net
has
code.
paid you back now.
Yeah. It's going okay. So
it's a nice write-off.
Yeah, so
$30.
still like, if you asked me to create the game from scratch, there'd be apps I would not even know where to begin, but I can do like gameplay mechanics and stuff on top of it and learned enough to work within it.
So you say like, are you so you have a game dev partner now?
Yeah, so for this game and for the other one, but I'll just mainly talk about this one to keep it simple.
Sure.
So I worked on every gameplay mechanic, art, animation, that was all me. And then I had a friend named Plague who, and I'm not using any real names because this is just what
I was
they
going to
all
say, I was like,
It's just it's the stick figure community. We all
you West Coast guys.
Yeah.
Flake and Shuriken.
Sorry, I'm just so used to it. And even in the Smash communities, you all use nicknames and stuff. So like, I barely call people. It's crazy to call you two by your real names. So anyway, so Plague has pretty much helped me with everything that I don't understand how to do. He built like the training mode and helped with online issues. So it was mostly of the two of us. And then we had a little bit of help from David T, first normal name. David T helped me just do some complicated attacks that I am stupid with and couldn't figure out fully on my own. And then our network guy, Power Meep, helped us with with our network issues, and none of you will know any of those people, but that's okay. That's the way they want it.
And Chip Dip and Power Flake, and
they don't make fun of Chip Dip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's really sensitive.
That guy's a
about
legend.
Don't call him Chip.
He'll wave dash you in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so so you've been working on this game for like 2 months, and it's in Game Maker, and which, by the way, it surprised me that you say like you don't know much about code, but like I feel like you know how to code your game now.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Especially gameplay wise, I could sit down and code the game, but
yeah,
the state machines that are going on in the background that caused all that to happen in the first place is still something that I'm really interested in learning. I just never had the chance to learn myself because I'm obsessed with movement and gameplay mechanics like that in general. I just want characters to move around and feel good.
Yeah, this is something me and Pluto have very much bonded over in the past. Character movement is king.
Yeah, so that's my goal now that I have time and the freedom to kind of research what I want to do. I just want to go back to the beginning and actually know what's happening under the hood and fully be able to make it myself, because I've always been really interested in it. I've just kind of never had the means to be able to breathe and actually study it as a hobby, because I've been a freelance artist for 15-ish years now, and it's always been basically month to month, you make what you need and that's it. And I don't really have a lot of free time outside of that except to spend with family. So interesting spot to be in now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's so the game is now released. We're jumping ahead just a little bit for a second.
Yeah.
Is it going well?
It is going kind of well. It's going pretty good. It's been exactly a week today since I released the game.
And how many copies have you sold?
So my best case scenario in my brain for this game specifically, this game was made, I mean, I don't care about, disclosing this, it doesn't matter. In my brain, this game was made to get me out of debt. Like I was kind of slowly falling into debt, and it was very self-imposed. And I was like, I either have to get a real job right now and stop working on games, which sounds like I don't want to do that at all. That'll break my brain. Or
because you've also been working for yourself for a long time. Like that's 15 years there. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I can't even fathom working at a normal place. Like it just, I don't have it in me anymore. I did it when I was a teenager and it sucked. And in my early 20s and stuff. But I was like, I could either get a normal job or I could just double down and I had an idea and I was like, I think I can finish it in a month. It took 2. But that's the case. That's always the case. And I was like, I think I can do this, and I think it will get me back even. Like, I think I'll be at a spot where I can feel good, which was about a little over 1,000 copies. So I was like, if it does that, I'm chilling. It's been a week, and we have sold 70,000 copies of the game. So
let's go.
So it's kind of a little bit better than I had planned in my head. And even my best case scenario was like, if I can sell 10,000. Like I'm dreaming. Like that's great. Yeah. So I'm in a weird headspace because it just hasn't really sunk in.
I was gonna say because like I recently sold my house and I paid off my debt. And a lot of people would say like selling your house in today's market will be like really dumb idea. All this kind of stuff. I was just like, I need freedom as an artist to bet on myself, and I need a cushion. So I'm selling the house. All I need is my bed, a desk, and my laptop or a computer, and I immediately paid off my debt. And now I'm just breathing and working with Nick, and it's kind of the reason why my YouTube channel is like also slowed down, is just because I'm like, all right, I have a moment right now where I can really invest in game development with Nick, teaching people game development, by learning it as a moron, but sharing that knowledge with everyone else.
Yeah.
Kind of just getting into a better space. But my question for you though is like, once I truly, last year I was just like so stressed all the time, and with the YouTube stuff, with brand deals, with all this kind of stuff, and the alleviation of that has been awesome. But I'm just a single guy or whatever that was like, making a decent living, but things were getting stressful, and now I feel that pressure off. What's that scenario for you? Like, how does that feel and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, especially because without going too big into detail, every major project that I ever worked on within the stick figure community had like some cursed element attached to it, and just some bad, horrible thing happened every single time. And it just got worse and worse and worse as it went on. For instance, I made like a big animation collaboration. It ended up being like it broke records in our community, but it was 2020. And it was like the immediate, shitstorm that followed. And then when we started making our first game, the God coder that I mentioned earlier, he lived in Ukraine, and 6 months after we started the game, the Ukraine war happened, and he was in like dead center in the middle of it, getting bombed and like shot at, and it's just ridiculous. And then the next game just had more financial problems for me personally, because I kind of felt like I owed it to the community to keep doing it, and like I said, I kind of self-imposed the debt, and it was like a weird mental depression thing where I was like, I deserve it. Like I deserve to go into debt because I haven't finished the games and it's like my fault. And it was real bad. It was getting real bad. So it's really, really nice to like start a project and finish the project and nothing bad happened. The world is still here. The comet didn't hit my house. And so I was just thankful for that I was able to finally finish something without, something going horribly wrong. But I mean, I have a family and I have a family that I want to be able to support, and I can now. And it's like,
how's their reaction to it?
Pretty. I mean, they're out of town right now, but pretty blown away as well. I mean,
have they been out of town the whole time since you released it?
No, they left. Well, I guess that is kind of the one bad thing that happened is the day I released it, someone in the family passed away. So that was she's. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe, still cursed. But so they're visiting the family.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, no, she loves it. She's been very supportive the whole time. Her name's Hannah. Love you, Hannah. Woo.
Yeah.
She basically let me, live here without paying rent for a couple months while I've been doing all this, because I was like, I believe in it. I really think it'll work out. And she's been totally just like the best human in the universe.
This is your girlfriend?
Yeah. And even then, she was, surprised. She was like, I knew it would do okay because like you make cool stuff, but I didn't expect, this. And yeah, me neither. So I don't think it's only been a week and I don't even know what to think so far.
Yeah, I know. It's in, like how much is the game right now? Like $5?
Yeah, today the sale ended, so it went up to $7, but up until today it was $5.
Yeah, so everybody can do the mental math of you're sitting pretty.
I am okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
By the way, I just want to ask a very practical question. When you are like a solo dev, also do you I didn't check, or I think you don't have a publisher, right? It's just you.
It's
and then,
just me.
So it's just developer, you like, and then what's your studio name again, or is it just Pluto?
It's called Studio Bidou. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's 2 people or 3. It ends up being about 3 or 4 people that I'm paying for their work. But yeah, under the actual studio, it's just me. I'm the like sole owner.
So, like, does Steam send you a check? Or like,
I genuinely don't know.
Okay, I was gonna ask that too, because I was like, I think we're still in like the, like for instance, if you guys don't know, like YouTube takes like about a month to like get your payments of like how much advertisement they've got, then they send you a check. So it's like, I don't think we're in the window of you getting a bill.
No, I don't have it yet. I don't have it. So the way it works is you link your bank account. Yeah, I have like a business account, and I think every 30 days they just send you everything that you made in that 30 days. As far as I'm understanding it, they take their cut and then they just dump the rest in your bank account.
They're like, here's the
which is going to be a very weird day. It kind of feels like scraps. That 30%, the more copies I sell, that 30% starts to feel a little bigger than it should,
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like without that 30, without Steam, no one buys this game, right? So it's really worth it. I'm just joking.
So that actually like and sorry, Nick, I know I'm like just like immediately like
you're good, man.
feel free to cut me off and ask me on.
Hey.
I'm very curious too. So since your game is selling well, what do you think you did right?
I've always seen the popularity of stick figure stuff. It's always for some reason flies under the radar, but like every stick figure thing that comes out does well.
Also, I would say pretty stick figure stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stick figure gradients, like clearly first, like that actually is out of the realm.
Yeah, I would agree with
but
that.
stuff like yours, that's like, and a Nidhogg and stuff like that is like, yours is a pretty game on top of it. And then like things like keep going.
Yeah, so I've always just seen the power of that, and it kind of has a lot of staying power. And people, we talking about it earlier, you said everybody can draw a stick figure or whatever. It's actually kind of hard to animate a stick figure. Once you start doing it, it's harder than it seems, and you kind of like get that feeling once you see a good stick figure animation or a good stick figure game. It's like, oh, it's still like, there's a lot of work put into this. But
you saw the skeleton I'm working on. This scares me now. That's hard. I am so screwed.
There's also more decisions in it than a lot of people realize of like, how thick do you make them? Do you use the line tool or the brush tool? Brush tool is king if you want lots of expression in your characters.
That's another war in itself, I promise.
I vaguely remember some of that, but
are you using like a bones system in your skeletal or in your thing? Is it just like
I drew everything with this. The whole
an
game,
MX Master.
Yes, $20.
Is that what it is? It's a Logitech.
It's a $20 JLab mouse from Best Buy that I purchased. My gaming mouse broke, and so I just bought this because
that's the dead mouse. That's the guilty mouse right there.
Yeah. I can get a better mouse now if I wanted to. But like I said, I just believe in stick figures as a whole, and then also I just had an idea, and the platform fighter space was kind of dead at the moment. There's no new Smash news from Nintendo. A lot of the other platform fighters that are indie platform fighters have kind of like, there's one is still like quite popular, but it's dwindling a little bit and people are kind of out of the honeymoon phase with it. And there's really no other one that's actively updating their game a lot and talking about it a lot. Platform fighter devs, for some reason, just like disappear while they're working on the game. And I just saw the window and was like, I could keep working on the one I'm working on, but I know I can make one in 2 months. And I think the visual style is unique enough to where it'll just hit the right vibes. because Yomi Hustle, which is one of my biggest inspirations, I love Your Only Move is Hustle is the full name. Sorry, Ivy. But originally it was called Yomi Hustle. And that is the only game that has ever looked like that. And it's a turn-based fighting game. So it's very niche in the way that people want to play it. Visually, all the Yomi Hustle people are like, oh my God, it's another game that looks like Yomi Hustle. And then the people who haven't played Yomi Hustle are like, oh, it's a new game in a style I've never seen before, because there's no other game that's like Yomi Hustle. So
and Yomi Hustle is like a lot like your game, but it's almost like it's a turn-based weird thing where you play out your fight after you finish all your turns, and you get to see it in real time, and it makes a cool like on the fly flash animation fight of stick figures.
Exactly.
But yours is a live version of that, basically.
Yeah. And then I also had the advantage of like, I know everyone in the stick figure community, and I know a ton of people in the Smash community and platform fighter community in general. And I just pointed all my resources at this one thing and just kind of knew if I, hit all the right bells and whistles and advertised it correctly, that it would probably do okay.
So I thought you were big on YouTube as a game dev for whatever reason, but then I found out that you're more of like on like Twitter and X or whatever.
Yeah,
like some of your stuff has gone like viral and stuff like that. Like any recommendations there? Like I'm like not on X at all, because every time I hear about it, it just sounds like, hey, you want an app that shows you war crimes all the time? I'm like, no, I'm never going on there. I'm like, why do I want that at all? Like you get the truth. I'm like, no, that sounds sad. I'm going to stick to Instagram where I get a sponsor every other post and never see my friends on there anymore. But okay, I love social media. But like, does X have like a shorts thing? Like, or are you just like posting into the? I sound like such an old guy, like right now, or whatever.
Well,
How do you? So what is Wi-Fi?
So Twitter is only uniquely useful for me specifically because the entire platform fighter community still uses it. I think that advertising on Twitter, like game dev stuff, still does pretty good overall, actually. Like if you get a good GIF or a good, short clip of your game, that can really pop off and people can really get interested. That's how I find a lot of the indie games that I'm interested in, is through devs posting on Twitter. I'm never going to call it X. I'm sorry. But everybody from Smash is still on that app. So if you creating a new platform fighter in this genre or a new fighting game in general, like the whole FGC and the platform fighter space is just still there. So I just knew if I generated the right stuff that it would circulate well.
I want to ask like very like practical, just for any like other indie game devs, because you said like the community, because I feel like I've seen people like Charlie or something react to Twitter posts or whatever and whatnot. Like I do see that like a lot of game dev stuff does seem to pop off. Are you like, do you have a big X following? Like, and if it's not over 10,000, is it stupid to post? And what do you like? Do you like hashtag, or do you like, what are some practical things you did to maybe get your voice out there?
Yeah, I really don't have that big of a following on Twitter. I think before this, and I stopped using my personal account, I'm only using the studio account. Before this happened, I think I only had like 2,000 followers on that account.
Okay,
I haven't even checked it anymore, but my personal one probably had like 4,000. But I just knew that a lot of them were like people who play Smash and who were top players in Smash and who were popular. But I do think that using Twitter helps a lot in game dev, because only if we got to get into this eventually, because I have one gripe with like the game dev space as a whole and their like philosophy on the way that they should make games. I have one thing that I don't agree with. But if you make a pretty game, if you are making something that is visually appealing, it will do well on Twitter. It doesn't matter if you have 0 followers. There's a thing called Screenshot Saturday, which is a good hashtag to do. And I didn't do it for this game, but I've done it for stuff in the past. And Screenshot Saturday, if you are making a visually appealing game, which you should be, then then it will do well on Twitter. It will find the right people, it will find the right circle, and they will circulate it, and it'll work.
What's your gripe? Just go ahead, rip it.
I really disagree with the like. I guess not.
Stop killing games. Let's get a hot topic.
I think we should kill every game. So I don't agree with the idea that you should just make it work now and make it pretty later. I completely hate. I like fundamentally hate this design philosophy. I think, but it's probably just because I was an artist all my life, and I'm not.
This is what I was going to say. It is because of that, but keep going.
But I still I think that you should know exactly what that thing should look like before you ever lay down one line of code. And even if I go for the next 2 years and I learn every in and out of code or whatever, and I become the ultimate game dev and can do everything on my own, I still will not touch that keyboard until I visually know exactly what that game is going to look like. Like the vibes are so much more important than the mechanic of your game.
Nick, I'll let you take it first.
Yeah. There's a lot of validity to that too, because what your game looks like can influence a lot of decisions on how your game functions.
Exactly.
If your game is ultra realistic, having snappy, sharp animations that like with hit stun and everything may not work. Right? You wouldn't see that in a GTA 6 or something.
Right.
And so there's a lot of those decisions that having the style of your game kind of figured out and understanding also what the, I guess I would say, economic constraints are of producing assets for that game and that style can make a huge difference in what scope you take on for total content. Because like the beautiful thing about what you did is it's stick figures. So you get to focus all your time on how it feels in terms of animation and gameplay and not spend a ton of time doing super detailed art. Whereas if you had done a bunch of super detailed art, you would probably have maybe fewer attacks or animations, or you would have taken 8 months to complete this rather than 2.
I'm not saying that it has to be like Elden Ring beautiful, you know? I'm not saying that you have to...
Even though Elden Ring's not that beautiful, fight me, keep going.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's okay. Well, you get the point though, right? Like it doesn't, you don't have to decide every single detail of everything and it needs to be exactly, super strict or anything, but you just need to know the design feel and like the way that the emotion that you want to evoke when someone looks at your game. And if you don't know that, then you shouldn't make the game. I feel like game devs get stuck in like a loop on YouTube, especially. I've watched every devlog in the universe. I think it's all, if you type in devlog and there's a video, I'm probably one of your views, maybe 10. And a lot of it is like you're using mechanics to try to appeal to people, but mechanics only really appeal to other game devs. Like other game devs are going to be like, wow, that's really cool that you were able to do that. That's a really, fun and interesting way of solving that problem. But players don't care. They don't care how you solve the problem. They want the game to look cool and feel cool and be cool. And that's it.
I very much have like voiced this to Nick as I'm making stuff, and even like on our playable stuff, like I was like, let's get our character in immediately. I know we can white box it and like whatever, but like that should be first. And even like I just was talking to Nick the other day, we're in the middle of recording our series still, and like I'm like, we should get a grass floor in. Like I'm sick of looking at these freaking check marks on the ground, like checkbox, like asset not in here, like kind of thing. And we're at a place where like we could add that, and we're also like trying to figure out like a way to like wrap up soon. That we're like, all right, you have a game, and you can go and you said you watched them, right? Like the Playable
Workshop
stuff.
You guys.
Yeah. Okay, great. The it's like we want to like find a stopping point and then add on to that. And then we want to also like figure out how to make your characters and stuff. And I'm even right now in like my game idea that I'm making on my own, that I'm working on with Nick. But it's funny, like there is a lot of things that like I'm right now in like procrastinating sculpting hell, where I just keep going back to like making my model.
The opposite side, where they tell you don't do this first because you'll get stuck doing that and not building your game.
Yes. So I'm on the I agree with you, but I am in the pit right now of like I should be trying to just get my game to work. But I think it's interesting that I had a version that was very simple, where I was starting to make things work, where like basically like I had a character that's surrounded by other characters, and they were all like basically like cone shapes. It was funny to even have a simplified version of it that just looked cute, even though now the game is kind of like taking a more darker turn. It's funny that like that visual aesthetic made sense to me for that vision, at least to the point where I'm like, okay, my artist self is like satisfied with the visuals of what I'm playing with, to where we can start moving the gameplay forward. And that's where I'm like right now I'm in the pit trying to be like, okay, if I get out of the pit, what am I going to do differently? And and Nick just mentioned like the scope creep stuff. That's also a big thing too, especially me and him being just a small game dev team where I'll probably be doing a lot of assets, although I really do want to have my hands in the code on this one, especially this main idea that I'm talking about right now. It's just a funny thing where you're like, is a box going to be a thing with 100 faces on it, like whatever, or is it just going to be a square that I paint? And I'm like, I'm just going to make a square that I can paint and get across that point and keep moving in the game development. So I definitely get that. And I will say, I think YouTube, game dev, vloggers, bloggers, whatever, are kind of actually getting that visual aesthetic thing more and more.
So too.
I think everybody's like aware that you shouldn't do what I do right now, but I remember that too. Like early on, I was like just people being like, white boys, you can't do a single thing. Like you should only be working in grayscale for like the first. It's like, dude,
I just don't believe
you got to get something in there. That's like, or else I don't know. But I think that is also what we began this whole offshoot with, which is like, it's depending on the person. Some people like Nick. Well, Nick's also like an artist, so there's also that. But a person that's purely code might be able to just like make that logic gap in their head of like, I'll just take a blue capsule and we'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about in terms of making your game in general. I'm talking about finishing a game and marketing a game and making something that will end up being successful. I think that you need to have that underlying like through line of design before you go into it, because
you're saying like even you need to have like your vision like kind of established. Like don't find it on the way there.
Exactly.
Obviously parts will probably manipulate like
and it depends on what you're doing. Like if you're just hobbying around and you just want to learn code or whatever, that's a completely different story. But if your goal is to do this for a living and finish a product that is going to like eventually sell enough copies to be successful and have it be your full-time job, I think that like design first before code. I genuinely 100%. And if you're not the design guy, like if you're not the guy who does that, you need to find the guy and you need to talk to them about what you want.
Nick gave me a great piece of advice the other day when I'm working on a game. I'll see what you think about this, Pluto. Do you think that you, before making your project, because I thought I feel like I have a lot of good game ideas, like a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
It is very funny to have those game ideas and then really try to write a satisfying game loop. I know that yours kind of is like in the realm of like Smash, like defeat your enemies. It's probably not that hard to get to that.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about multiplayer games is like the competition
it's kind of like
is inherently built
your
in.
friend to death. But like it is funny how I've tried to write out my game loop, and there's a lot of games that are inspiring me, but I don't want to like copy and paste completely. Like there's aspects of it, but I'm like is this part satisfying? Is just defeating the enemy satisfying? Is getting stronger satisfying? Is like all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, and is that kind of fitting the beat of the game? I've found it to be harder than you would think, but I'm not sure if you've had that in your experience.
I've genuinely been pretty lucky so far because, like I said, this is the main game that I've really dedicated trying to finish, and the loop is so easy because the loop is just inherently built into like you just need to make a game that feels good enough to play where people will keep coming back and trying to hit the other guy, like and as long as that gameplay loop feels pretty fair and good, then the loop will continue forever until the next game comes out that does the loop better than you.
And I really think with a game that's in that Smash genre, what I'm waiting for and what I already felt with playing your game, I'm like, are we getting new characters? I saw the silhouettes or whatever. I'm like, I want to like you to make like 20 stick figures and like I want to like play all of them or whatever.
Yeah,
like I immediately tried out all three of your characters.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have more characters coming out. I have another one that's releasing this month, and I said in the community before the game even launched, I had a frequently asked questions, and one of the first ones was, is there more content? And I said, as long as the game is doing numbers, I will keep putting more stuff in it because it just kind of works out. And then eventually you get custom characters and modding, and then it really it runs itself. Like you barely have to do anything. That's how Yomi Hustle has been so successful, is because the community just is obsessed with their game and they keep adding more characters and keep adding extra stuff, and it just loops forever.
Yeah.
And I do want to say too, you've kind of got yourself set up for some serious modding potential, because I think the very first conversation we had was you wanting to show me your pipeline.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, game dev to game dev, I think you'd appreciate this. I was like, all right, let's chat. And then you showed me what it was. And it was just like basically getting to work on a sprite sheet and encode data into that sprite sheet. And then boom, you can like export it and it's in the game and functioning.
Yeah, so Shuri, our god coder, he did one big major thing for my other platform fighter, which I was able to just port into this one, which is create like the best character creator that I've ever seen in terms of like for a fighting game. But yeah, you essentially never touch the game engine itself. You just work in. Right now, it's in Adobe Animate, but we're gonna make our own. Like, we have the means now to make our own, so people don't have to have Adobe subscriptions. But yeah, you just make the whole character in our plugin, and you code everything in there. You draw all the hitboxes in there, make all the weird objects, and you can go as complicated as you want, and it just works out. And you never have to touch the engine. So that makes modding insane. Once we get that worked out, anybody will be able to just hop in and at least make a simple character, because I was making characters in the plugin before I knew how to code anything at all.
If your team needs help making that tool, let me know.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah, Nick has talked about like doing a lot of like having a module character creator that like kind of make your own like low poly characters that
Ocarina of Time characters.
Yeah, because we're planning on teaching Blender for game design, and we've already announced that. It's not spoiling anything or whatever. I was just like fact checking myself in the head or whatever. But like Blender is really hard to learn, and I feel like and regular Illustrate, like I have an illustration background. Illustration is super hard or whatever.
Yeah.
Weirdly, there's parts of 3D that I find to be like, I'm like, are we see in 3D as humans that it's kind of actually like weirdly like easier in some ways to sculpt and stuff like that. And in 3D, like for instance, like it's like if you look at a human from the side, your brain will know where like a head sits on a thing rather than drawing it at 3/4 angle in 2D. It's like, I don't know where to put this head. Like I still suck at that stuff. If you don't have like those skills, like it is so hard to learn how to create stuff that like, I think me and Nick want to put more tools out there that it's like, you can just make your character without having to become a complete artist. And
that's a great idea.
Bit of a side tangent. Sorry about that. That is very much Playable Workshop stuff. But go back to you, Pluto.
Got to get your ads in. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's like I said. I mean, I watched your YouTube channel, Jack, before Playable Workshop, and then all of a sudden one day there was a Playable Workshop episode with two people, and you were one of them, and you didn't know anything, and I didn't know anything, and I was like, "This is perfect. I love this." Yeah. So that's how I found you guys. So I don't mind you plugging Playable Workshop. Go for it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's very weird how it's been working out, and we're so excited about it, and like and there's so many moving parts. It'll be a very interesting next like 6 months to see where we end up, while also like doing my YouTube channel. I'm not trying to leave my channel in the dust or anything.
Yeah.
And while I'm also doing contract work right now too.
Yeah, and there's it's just kind of a funny circumstance, I guess, right now, because there's also just like not a lot of games come out. Like I tried Battlefield 6, it's more Battlefield. Like great, do I have to make a whole video on that? Like I don't. I honestly would rather make like a video talking about what you're doing or whatever with a few quick matches and the design philosophy behind it, which we should get back to too, because I actually do want to talk about the game. Okay, first of all, no items in the game, right?
Not at the moment. I actually have a bunch just from Platform Fighter Engine, and I can just flip them on if I want to. But we're just going to save
Pokeballs randomly.
Just completely legally distinct Pokeballs, legally distinct.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of items actually done, but none at the moment. There's like not a lot of casual experience in this game at the moment. I think it's one of the weaknesses of the game.
Does it feel cool to be in the position as a developer? Like right now, I want to be like, oh, you should add this character into the game. But like, is it cool to like I'm not going to force you to say what they are, but to know what like will probably be your next 3 characters or something, but nobody knows. Does it feel? Do you feel powerful?
I feel so powerful, and I'm looking for situation. Make a fighting game.
Yeah.
It feels so. There's 2 things about it that feel great. So my other game is a platform fighter, and it already had 4 characters, and the characters in the other game are actually kind of like well known within the stick figure community. So that one actually has like a lot more hype when it comes to what character is going to be next, because these are just 3 derpy guys that I made up for the 2 months.
Sword, bow, hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. There's like a shocking amount that goes into it, but yeah, that's essentially what happened. But yeah, it feels really cool to know what's happening before everyone else, and it's the coolest part is watching the community try to piece it together. I shouldn't say this, but I made that the shot in the trailer with the more stick figures on the cliff.
Yep.
That's obviously hinting at more characters in the game, which is exactly what I wanted. But everybody like zoomed and enhanced and dissected that. Like, these are the next 5 characters, and they were like trying to figure out if they were characters from our community. I made that drawing in like 2 seconds and like threw it in there and finished the trailer. Like, it had no
That's awesome.
real viable use at all whatsoever. But because of how interested everyone was in it, especially the one with the spear, everyone is losing their mind over
I
the
literally thought
potential
the
of
spear too.
guy.
I was like, I want a spear.
Exactly. It's like so powerful for no reason. So like, because of that, it's kind of like influencing me and being like, maybe I should put a spear guy in this game.
It's like, nope, it was Banjo Kazooie. That spear was the bird. Yeah, I've always just like wondered like what that feels like, probably just like knowing that there's more things coming. Like, because my ass would like want to say or like want to hint or whatever, but I don't like I mean, like, that's how I feel right now. Like, I legitimately think we're really onto something. It's very funny, me and Nick's game design stuff, and like, he just finished a game jam, and like, it's just crazy to see how lethal he can be with like putting out a video or a game in freaking 4 days.
Yeah.
But it's very funny that like, when we started, it's like we had a big game idea, and we were like, but let's not do that until we like hit a couple of small games or whatever. Then it went to a small thing and like a small scope. And then like, we were like, actually, let's go back to that big game idea or whatever. And then it's gone back. What if we just did these games or whatever? Especially now that like, our game dev Discord is kind of like with like, YouTubers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's some real success happening here. It's like,
it's a lot
without
of
like without the biggest games in the world, it's very that's influencing us as well. So it's like trying to cut down ideas and scope creep and stuff. I know you're probably not moving on from a few quick matches for a minute, but like, do you have other game ideas that you're like thinking about making in the future?
Oh yeah. So my dream games are actually more like single player focused and story focused. I just kind of knew I've been playing Smash all my life and been in stick figures all my life. So I kind of knew this was like a easy first project to finish.
This is the first game that you're selling, right?
Yeah, this is the first game I sold.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's part of the reason that I want to go back and kind of start from ground zero and really learn programming like the right way, is because I want to be able to make more games in different genres, and this is the only genre at the moment that I could make a game in, and the only engine that I could finish one in right now. Like, I couldn't do it anywhere else. So
that's kind of what, again, like what we're trying to do. Playable is just like, I just want that. Like, I want to do that. I want to like Nick talks about sitting in his like bed with his laptop just coding a game, like without even like seeing the 3D viewport. And I'm like, I would love to do that or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but like, I cannot. I can vibe code some stuff. I've been trying out some vibe coding, and that's gone horribly.
It doesn't work very well. I've tried it before too. It doesn't. It's not great.
It's dude. Like, just a quick side tangent. Just like the way the tech heads talk about AI, like it's a god that can do anything. It's smarter than anyone ever
this is
birthed
gonna
or
replace
whatever.
all the Nicks in the world. You don't need
it's
programmers.
Like it can't. It got everything wrong. I searched for a problem for 5 hours the other day, like trying to vibe code a game. And it couldn't figure out that it typed a capitalization wrong on one of the variables. That's what was breaking the entire thing. Should it have taken me a lot shorter than 5 hours to see that was the problem? Yes, but I'm not there yet.
But if you had done it yourself, it would have been 45 minutes. Like, you probably could have just found
100%. That's actually, I was like writing notes about like the cons to vibe coding, because I might do a video on like difference between like vibe coding and real coding, and it's like somebody that was just sticking to like writing their own script would have caught that immediately. Even vibe coding now, you can also have agents write everything for you. Like, you can just literally like let it, like you can just type the prompt and then it'll like shoot it into there. I even think just writing it yourself without letting it shooting in it, you can get the cheat sheet.
Sure,
I think just writing it manually is actually a big plus, because as you're typing it, you'll like read through every word and like get the grasp, rather than like, I mean, literally, when I was vibe coding, I was like just letting like it jump to other scripts and like changing stuff, and I didn't even know. Then I come back and I'd be like having like 3 duplicates of like a bunch of crazy stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
All right, I haven't seen like this is something that Nick helped me with forever ago, and now it is like a vibe coded like mess with like 150 lines of code now.
I was super anti AI, just from an artist background. So even when I opened it to like ask it a code question, I was like, it feels
I was
icky.
like, you're probably gonna get this wrong, you piece of you freaking oil blood.
But yeah, I tried it for like a Godot thing that I thought would be extremely simple, like a thing that I could have just gone and learned anyway. Like I could have just watched a tutorial on how to do it, but I was like, maybe this will be faster. And it couldn't even like understand that I wasn't on an old version of Godot anymore. And every time I told it that I had updated Godot, it was like, oh, my bad, you're right, do it this way. And I was like, no, that's still the old.
I know. And yeah, the amount of times that like, it's like, great observation, like this kind of thing. I'm like, look, you're great and you're so nice.
Shut
like
up.
You were wrong. And dude, there's been times where I've been like, admit you were wrong. Like, take responsibility. I was so passive aggressive. I felt like a jerk manager. I'm like, so you didn't do that, right, or whatever, and like it would just be like, oh yeah, yes, it didn't do this. I'm like, right, so I am smarter than you because I'm a human being with real blood in my veins.
Yeah, I started to feel like a bad boss or something because I kept like trying to tell it to do the thing better, and it's like, wait a minute, the whole thing sucks. Like, it just sucks, and it's not good anyway. Just go learn how to do the thing.
And truly, especially because like me and Nick like work together, we work with people and all this kind of stuff, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to pick up habits from code and getting used to like demanding code and then influencing how I actually behave to people or whatever.
Right.
And like, and if it gets too good and it immediately gets solutions or whatever, which, like in ways we hope that's the case, but in other ways, I'm like, then that is going to also harm when a human isn't doing the thing that you want it to do over a, never, I don't know. But the AI is a whole nother podcast in itself.
Yeah, big can of worms.
Okay, I do want to ask, getting back to your game. Okay, I think this is like one of the most interesting parts too. We've talked about it off camera a little bit. You made the game, you put it out, it's on Steam. This is one of the first things that you get reviews back, and you've got like a good amount of you've got a very positive score right now. But that how does that feel to also like, because anything more than like a mostly positive, I mean, I would probably want to like break like an 80% score or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
But everybody wants overwhelmingly positive, on Steam.
Of course.
It's like, I want to get that. If we can, great. If it's in the, as long as it's blue, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's not orange or
blue words, I feel so good. Blue words feel great.
Even mixed just is rough. That's like something, somebody, there's some corruption at your office.
Yeah. Mixed is the new overwhelmingly negative,
Exactly. It's worse to be average. Just mind's eye me and completely nuke me.
At least with an overwhelmingly negative, it's like, oh, we got review bombed or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You blame it on a review bomb. These Russian bots. But the how is it to get a positive thing, and then how is it also receiving criticism on the game? Just because there's been a few of those as well, and how you taking it?
Overall, I'm getting better at it. I was bad at it the first couple days. I will admit, it's been a learning process.
Like when we talked to you, do you think?
I'm a little better than, I'm still not all the way better, but I'm a little better.
Changed, man.
Some of it's okay. I genuinely don't have a problem with some of it. And the hardest thing for me was, even though the score was good, it was, I think on the first day even, it was like 94%, and it's kind of gone down 1% every day for specific reasons that are mostly my fault. Mostly.
Mostly AI's fault. No, okay.
So I had these great reviews. The game was selling well, but because I don't have any team or anything to kind of handle troubleshooting or anything like that, all I did was sit in my questions channel on Discord and answer the people who did have problems questions for 7 days straight. So I was only interacting with the people who had a negative experience, and everyone who was having a positive experience was just off having fun playing the game. But because I was getting bombarded with like bugs and issues, I thought the game sucked. I was like, this game's ass. Like, what did I do? Why? Like, how did I release this in this state or whatever? But it was really just a couple specific issues for the most part. And we've ironed out almost all of them. So a lot of it's.
Do you think that's the way to handle it? To go to where the fire is, like immediately? I mean, obviously, like that sounds like the right one, but like, would you do it differently, or would you have just immediately try to solve it? Because I'm saying like, it does kind of suck that like day one you don't get to like celebrate
yeah.
or whatever. I mean, like, I'm sure like day one for like a second, but
Sure, yeah. No, I would do it the exact same way, specifically for multiplayer games, because I've watched, I've been, like I said, I played Smash forever, and I've tried every platform fighter that comes out, no matter how big or small they are. I usually try them. And the thing that I hate the most is when your game releases with problems and you have a giant community of people like telling you the problem and nobody says anything. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, you get an update that's like, hey, we fixed all the issues. Like it burns your community so fast. Your player base will just plummet. And I think one of the reasons that my review score stayed the way it was, one, I think was the price, because people were lenient because it was only $5 for the last week.
Yeah.
And so if there's problems, like whatever, it's not like I made you broke by purchasing my game or whatever. But people saw me just like in the weeds, just answering every single possible question I possibly could and updating. I think we pushed like 8 updates since launch, like every day at least once. I fixed like as much as I could.
I liked what you were about, like the negative guys that were like, they would come in hot to your Discord, be like, what the hell, like this thing like screwed up or whatever, and then you would answer and they would chill because they're like, oh, you're actually the guy that made it, my bad, you gotta cool me
Yeah, so there were so many times, and it's just fighting game mentality. Like people are, when they have a negative opinion about a fighting game, they're very vocal about it because they want the game to be good. That's the thing, is like, I have to understand it's always coming from like a place of passion, especially in fighting games. They love fighting games and they just want a new one that feels good. And so, they would come in guns blazing, swear words, just freaking like, this game's trash. Like, why doesn't the internet work? And I would just post like one thing, like, hey, like we're working on it. And they'd be like, oh my God, good, like great game, by the way. Like, I just, I hope you get the issues solved. And there was even a couple people who like posted horrible reviews and then came in the Discord and asked a question and I answered it and they changed their review because they were like, oh, like my bad. And so I think that has really kept me afloat in the very positive space. And I think that's part of the reason why it hasn't dwindled anymore. And I mean, we fixed most of the issues. There's one really bad connection issue where like certain routers just straight up can't play online. So we're remaking our whole server system. But other than that, like all the major ones are gone. And I'm starting to actually get to interact with the positive side now. The game did well, so I'm throwing a tournament this weekend with like a $2,000 prize pool. So people are like excited about that. And I can finally start like focusing on the community.
That sent me back into debt.
I'm really irresponsible, so whatever.
I made it $200,000.
Yeah, so but there's one. I still just have one gripe, and it's just a fighting game thing. But it's people who have only played the game for about an hour, sometimes less. They'll leave terrible reviews about how your game feels. And it should be illegal in fighting games to be able to post a review until you've played the game for like 4 hours, because you're not going to be, unless you're really good at every platform fighter, you're not going to get it in the first hour. Like, it's just how fighting games work. If you pick up a new game where you have to...
I mean, I'm literally that case. Like, it took me about an hour to realize, I went to your tutorial thing and then like, oh, like he has wave dashing and that's like a huge part. And I can also like getting the, your recovery back after wall jumping.
Yeah.
By the way, can you wall jump more than once?
No, you have to touch the ground.
Okay. So it's only one wall jump, recover, recover, wall jump, recover. That's it.
Then you're screwed until you hit the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But so the issues where people have with gameplay, some people just aren't going to like it, and that's totally fine. Like some people aren't going to like the way it feels, or not going to like the genre of fighting game, because there's a lot of different subgenres, and that's totally fine. I have literally no issue with that. It's just like, I wish people would give it a little bit more time before thinking that it's like the worst game they've ever played.
It is an interesting thing. I actually like wonder if like Valve did put in something like I think there's games that you can literally beat in an hour, so I wonder if that kind of ruins this thing. But like, you as the reviewer can set like, don't let people review my game if they've only played 1 hour. But if you made a game that that can be beaten less than an hour, you uncheck that or something.
Right. And I do think, they do show how long people have played, which probably influences some.
I know, but it's still like, it's still there in writing.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's part of me that I feel like in your game specifically, it's like, I feel like you can get an initial impression off before what you've said. I think you can get an initial impression off of just playing the game for 30 minutes. for instance, it took me like a second to realize that differentiating mechanic in your game. I feel like I probably like set down Rivals of Aether. I probably gave it a couple hours because I was like kind of looking for a PC Smash. But it's like it's also tough to bridge the gap on Smash when it's different mechanics.
Yeah, that's something I can talk about too, for sure.
Yeah, I want to mention that, and I really want to ask you too. Have you been also like seeing? Have you seen really good people at your game yet?
Oh yeah, so one of my playtesters for my other game, he playtested this game as well, and I mean he started beating me probably a couple hours after he grabbed the game. He's just he's just so good at every platform fighter, and he's always a top player, and it's unbelievable. Like even when I was making the game, the combo system is pretty intricate and it's really fast paced, and I was comboing really well, but I was like, is this even gonna translate? Because like I'm only comboing well because I made it and I know exactly what I should be doing at every frame, basically. And like that's how I made the trailer, and I was like, everyone else is gonna suck at this. I think that's not the case. Everyone's better than me. It's mind blowing to like watch top players in this game.
Really?
I haven't gotten to watch like tournaments or anything like that yet, but the guy's name is Leviathan. He put out like a combo video, and it's just him murdering everyone with every character, doing impossible things that don't make sense to my brain. And it's just like, it's crazy. I love it. It's great. It's probably the best part about the game.
I gotta ask, how does Leviathan compare to Chip Dip in the game?
Oh, dude. See, if Chip Dip comes out, Chip Dip comes out of retirement, it's over. I mean, Levi knows he's a real number two.
He hasn't come out of retirement yet. He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of Street of fighters.
He just shows up, wins the tournament, and then walks away. It doesn't come back.
Doesn't take the prize, doesn't take the money. It just leaves. Like, do you watch, like, are people like streaming it, or how are you like seeing people like fight? And also I wanted to kind of ask you too, like, I played an online match. I played 2, I think. One guy kicked my ass immediately, and then the second guy seemed to be as new as me, not doing like anything. Is there any like ideas there to like, as you advance as a skill level, get matched with people more of yours?
Yeah, so normally in fighting games, it's called skill-based matchmaking, and I definitely need it. We don't have it right now. Right now, the server just tries to find 2 people in the same place, and they're like, here you go. Like, good luck.
You guys will connect.
Literally. So I even told my playtesters on day 1, I was like, do not go to quick play. Like, do not beat these people up. Like, I need you to let them be bad for a little while because you're just going to ruin their experience. And they were all very nice about it.
Oh, that is great. Very true, by the way. Man, I played Rivals Ether. I was like, I can't get to these guys level.
Brutal.
Like, I really, this is a problem.
It's already bad. Like, people come in the Discord and they're like, what's going on? Like, I just played a couple matches and I can't like move. Like, I can't touch anyone because they just kill me instantly. And that's kind of the nature of the game that I made, unfortunately. And it's probably going to end up pushing a couple people away. But I'm looking into ways to making it a little more casual.
Again, fortunately, your bots are like good enough to practice on to go like really get your like. I feel like I'm probably like 60% of the way of like really feeling comfortable. Like just after like, a handful of games of like, okay, I'm starting to get this. It's still like a funny thing, weirdly enough, with wave dashing. Even when Smash, I wasn't sure if like a lot of the time I was getting like that iframe or whatever. That like in your game, it's kind of a main thing where I'm like, exactly. It must be like more more forgiving or more generous. Like, because it's almost like, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, do you want people to wave dash more than they're rolling? Obviously. That's kind of an obvious one. But like even in the air though, when you do like a feign. Also you said you wanted to talk about design philosophy between Smash and this. Like,
I want the movement to be in every game I ever make, that's going to be a through line where I just want the movement to be the main kind of aspect of the game, and it just feels good to move around.
That doesn't sound completely familiar to me.
So a lot of modern platform fighters actually just make wave dashing easier. I'm not the first one to do that by any means. I can't take credit for that. Even Rivals 1 all the way back in whenever that came out, like 10 years ago, did it. But you kind of just enhance everything that made Melee specifically feel good to play and make it easier to do. And then everyone gets the freedom of movement, and it just opens up a lot of more creativity in gameplay and combos and things like that. So you want to make all the movement mechanics like not skill checks, because the craziness from Melee comes from being able to do like 25 actions per second or whatever. And basically you can't lose to someone who can't do it because it's just physically impossible for them to keep up with you. And if you
Yeah.
level the playing field with movement specifically, then, the actual skill of like, I'm beating you because I'm better than you and I'm tricking you and I'm outsmarting you kind of like comes into play. And it's not just like I've played the game longer and I know how to, push more buttons better. So there's still a huge skill gap, and you're still gonna lose to people who have probably played longer, but it's a lot less than in a game like Melee, where it's like the first year you're not even gonna win a round at a tournament because it's impossible.
Do you have any ideas for like kind of like in-person events and all that kind of stuff? I mean, it's early days, but like you said, you had like background like commentating like Smash stuff or whatever. Is there?
I mean, he's doing a tournament this weekend, so
Yeah, is that's online though, right?
Yeah,
like,
this one is online. Yeah, I do want to do in-person events though. Yeah, I do want to do in-person events. I used to go to Smash tournaments all the time, and I have my gripes with the Smash community, but like usually at events, they're really fun, and
they like game design more than art. No.
They like white boxing. I just don't agree.
Yeah, they like white boxing too much,
so I left. But yeah, I definitely want to do in-person tournaments. People have already, like tournament organizers have already reached out asking if they can host events and stuff like that. So there'll be some tournaments that I'm not even involved in.
Are you going to sue them like Nintendo or whatever? Nintendo's in trouble right now again for like crap like that, where it's like, wait, you played our game at an event for charity?
Yeah, I'm going to let them run the game. I'm going to let them run the event first, and then I'm going to sue them because it's like way better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to warn them first.
Yeah, you got to look like the good guy with power.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to do tournaments for sure.
Awesome.
And big question, why doesn't my guy in the game when I'm moving around feel like Brawlhalla?
I want to hear that. That's like, what's the gripe there? What's the inside joke there?
Sorry to the Brawlhalla players, but you guys got some interesting ideas when it comes to movement and the way the games should feel. There was just a lot of movement criticism in the first week, and I noticed there was a nice through line where most of that movement criticism and controller issues and controller requests were coming from Brawlhalla players. And I think it's because recently Brawlhalla did some weird monetization thing that everyone in their community dislikes, and they were kind of like looking for a new thing to play for a little while. Yep. And my game released right at the same time, and it looks kind of similar. Like, it doesn't have ledges like Brawlhalla. It doesn't have it feels like in your brain it should probably play a lot like Brawlhalla, but it plays nothing like Brawlhalla. It plays very much closer to a traditional platform fighter like Smash or Rivals. There's many other examples, and Brawlhalla is like the most unique fighting game ever. It doesn't play like anything else at all. There's no comparison to it whatsoever. And I do know that, once you get good at it, the movement is like a drug, basically. It feels incredible. And so I had a lot of Brawlhalla players asking for very specific Brawlhalla tech that like no one on earth other than Brawlhalla players would even dream of wanting in a video game. So that's been fun. That's been fun to wade through. And I've accommodated as much of it as I can, but there's some stuff that like I can't do it. I'm sorry, Brawlhalla players.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how there's not been a lot of platform fight. I mean, there's never really been a solid string of platform fighters like there are shooter games or whatever. It feels like you kind of get one maybe every couple of years and they're around for a minute and then they disappear. Do you have any ideas why that might be, or like theories on that?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just that everybody who plays platform fighters wants to try every platform fighter, because if you're not a top player in Smash, everybody just has the same mentality of like, I'm going to be the best player in the next one though. Like,
exactly.
When Multiverses comes out, I'm going to be the best player in Multiverses, or Fraymake.
I'm going to get you on that next one.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to touch me in that game. And it's everybody does it. We all do it. I do it. Everybody does it. And
that's exactly what I was like in Injustice, by the way. I was like, I've never learned streeting. Like I always lost in Mortal Kombat. I've never really gotten into one. I'll do it with Injustice. And like, then the people that played Mortal Kombat came over and just mopped the floor with me. And I was like, Injustice 2.
It's just how it is. I don't know what it is, but it's platform fighters specifically, because there's not a lot. It's not like fighting games where there's a couple new ones every year, and like even indie fighting games, there's a lot of indie 2D fighters, but there's not a lot of indie platform fighters. So when they release, they always release with a bang, as long as you did enough to market it to where the community knows it exists. And you're gonna lose like 70% of the players by default. Like, there's literally genuinely no way to keep them around, because Smash is just so good. Smash just is that game. Like, you will never kill Smash. It is impossible.
Yeah.
The people who have
A few
tried
quick
to make
matches
Smash
is trying to
killers-
kill Smash, right?
Yeah, no, I am by no means trying to compete with Mario. There's just literally Mario's way too cool.
Thankfully, the unit economics, play out in your favor on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't need to kill Smash.
The problem becomes, so you're going to lose, like I said, 60, 70% guaranteed. They're going to try it. They're not going to be good at it, or they're not going to like connect with it like they do with Smash or whatever other platform fighter they've fallen in love with, and they're going to leave. And it's like, you can't do anything about it unless you fundamentally change the game. The problem is that you keep 30%, and that 30% is really going to like your game, and they're really going to want that game to be their game. And they'll do whatever they can to keep it alive, but they'll also eat you alive in the process of like trying to get you to change the game and fix things that need to be done. And like, I don't know what it is about indie platform fighters specifically, but this is the point where devs just like disappear. And they make updates every once in a while, but they just don't communicate. And even if you're not gonna, even if you're not gonna, I'll get him on the next one.
Yeah.
But even if you're not going to make updates regularly, I've just learned through game dev in general and my mistakes with the other two games and my failures with other two games that if you are just open about it, people are cool with it. Like, for the most part, even with these network issues and stuff, I've made announcements almost every day. Like, I promise you, like, we're trying to fix it. We're remaking the servers. I'm so sorry that you can't play the game. And, people are pissed like every once in a while. But for the most part, the people who can't play the game are just like, cool, I'll wait for the update. Like, this sounds great. Yeah. And you just have to communicate that there's more on the way and what you're doing. And platform fighters are way too slow after their launch. The game sits there, it doesn't change. You don't add characters, they don't add enough content, and people just get tired of it. And if you look on SteamDB, even my game, like already within that week, the chart is like whoop, and then it just goes down slowly into like this S curve or like a C curve. And that's just how platform fighters look. But if you're not constantly engaging with the community, they think it's over. Like, they're watching everybody leave and they're watching the devs not say anything, and they're like, okay, well, on to the next one.
That's with anything, by the way, too. Like, videos are the same way and all this stuff or whatever. And it is very annoying. Like, I hate, like, I was debating, asking about like analytics and stuff, and like, can you see how many people are returning it and all that kind of stuff, or whatever. I have so many analytics on like YouTube or whatever, like they give you so many, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't care. I wish it didn't tell me like how my videos did. I'd let me analyze it. Don't tell me it's a 1 out of, by the way, 1 out of 10 is the best that you can do. It's not a 10 out of 10, and it's weird. They reverse it for some reason, so it's like, I got a 1 out of 10.
Your first place,
I see. Okay.
But I don't know. I could easily see releasing my first game without having this experience and falling into the trap of like looking at all those things and seeing that it's like, oh my God, it's every game, even the AAA ones. Like, what Assassin's Creed Shadows, nobody's talking about it now, or whatever. It's like, that probably went boom, whoosh, or whatever. They all do that, and they probably made $1 bajillion or whatever. Like, so it's not a thing to think your game's doing bad because of that. So whatever.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe people who make the platform fighters get their big initial launch and this giant community playing the game, and then they watch that number go down and they think that the game sucks, and it's like just not the case. It's just that you will never beat Smash. You can't topple it. Like, you can't compete with it. It's just impossible, and you have to keep the people around who end up really vibing with your game and really enjoying it. And you just have to stay positive even through watching, because the game is still being reviewed positively and people are still positively talking about it. It's just getting less and less attention every day, and that's just normal. And I had to like brace myself, because I was like, okay, well, the sale ends today at exactly 10 a.m. It's going to end today, and my sales are going to diminish. Like, I know for a fact, because it's been very steady. It's been like shockingly steady how many copies have been sold every hour. And I was like, as soon
do you
as
get a notification or anything on that?
No, I don't. I just religiously check it because I'm a psychopath.
I think you're a human. I would do the same thing, dude.
It doesn't even, like, wish lists only update once per day or whatever, and I would still refresh that like 10 times a day. Just like, maybe they messed up. Maybe it'll refresh for me. But
my friend had a Shopify store that he would get that cha-ching every sound or whatever, and I was like, that feels so good, but that would control me.
It's hard to look away. I've had a very hard time looking away. When I went to play basketball just a little while ago, I was like in the middle of a game. I was in the middle of a game, and I like thought about it. I was like, this is the first time I haven't thought about that video game in like an hour. So anyway, I was like bracing myself for when the sale ends, and I was like, I know less people are gonna buy it because it's not on sale. And then it happened, and I was like, instantly, like my bracing did nothing, and then I had to like reset and be like, it's okay, it's fine. This is just how it is.
I do that with videos too. Like, and this is why like playable stuff has been doing really well. Like, especially our first video, like, a new channel, we just put some freaking 500 views or whatever, and it's like gotten over 200,000 views. I made sure not to ask Nick or check that number a lot. Every time Nick would tell me, it'd be like another 25,000 views. I was like, this is crazy. Like, whereas my channel, like I'll see that initial hump happen or whatever, and it'll look across like whatever the number is. Sometimes it's 100,000, sometimes it's 200,000, and sometimes it's viral or whatever, and it's great. But there will be a time where I'm like, I'll probably check back and it'll probably be doing at this number, and I'll say the number in my head or whatever, and then I check in, it's like always lower, and it's like this sucks or whatever. I'm like, oh really? So it's been 3 hours and like nobody cares about me at all. Personally,
it's hard.
Now maybe I should go make some slop content and like just make no edits to my crap. And like maybe I'll get famous off just commenting on everything that's slightly political happens every day and just completely change my personality.
I'll just go make a CSGO slot machine game and
exactly.
Roblox, like Danye was showing us.
Roblox like content. Shout out,
dude. I know this is off topic. But like while I was making the game, maybe 5 days before I launched, I had a guy in my DMs, and he was like, "I'm a Roblox dev, and I make $100K per month, and I want to invest in your game." And it instantly was like, I should just quit. I should just go make Roblox game. Like, what? The first
even though it was a nice thing to say, I want to stop being a game dev.
That stuff hurts.
I was just like, I am in the wrong field, or I'm in the wrong section.
We have an editor, Danye, and he's like a younger guy, and he was just telling us about like his experience like with Roblox and stuff, and I was just mind blown. And I want to do a whole video on it and like kind of like investigate the whole thing. But it's like you go to Roblox and the first game live right now has like 1 million active players.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd.
There's 10 of them. Not even, there's hundreds of them, but like 10 have well over 1 million players. And I'm like, and they're just the cheapest, dumbest looking games I've ever seen in my life. And it's working. It's the Aaron Paul. Like, they can't keep getting away with this. It's crazy. I just think it's baffling because I'm like, why isn't everybody trying to just make these games instead of like? Because it looks like a whole lot less effort than making. I don't even know, like a game. There was like things I was thinking of. I was like, the games that I love that are like these indie games, like a Risk of Rain 2. Like I'm like, these Roblox games are making more money than them. Like, and
they are
for a lot less work. And I'm like, what does that do to this field?
Okay, it's just the nature of every art form, though. I mean, it just happens with everything. There's, I used to make music when I was like 21, 22, and I was making like indie rock or whatever, and it was doing okay. It like made enough money for me to pay my rent at that time, which was cool. And then you would listen to like some of the worst, just most generic thing you've ever heard that was probably written by like a random guy on a Tuesday.
Or 10 guys.
And exactly. And
it's like all pop now. Is like I'm like it'd be cool if she wrote the song or produced it or did anything but just be the face of it or whatever. Not that I'm playing anybody out. Sabrina Carpenter.
I just used to care so much. I was like, why does like the majority of people like this, and like why is it being so successful? And it's just the same thing with Roblox, where like I don't know if you know the stat, but 50% of people under the age of like 18 or something play Roblox every day. 50%.
Yeah.
That's a big percent.
Of
Earth.
Big number.
That's a lot
planet
of people.
Earth.
It was a crazy stat to learn, and it's just like, it's like the thing, you can't beat it. There's just a stranglehold on it, and people who are making like real, genuine, there's some stuff on Roblox that's cool. I'm sure my daughter has a great time on Roblox, but like, you all like you Roblox devs, you know what you're doing. But
100K a month sounds like it.
It's just one of those things where like if you want to make art, and I think video games are art, if you want to make an art piece, you just have to sacrifice the fact that you're not going to make as much money as the guy who wants to make the next
a
Roblox
bunch of money
game. It's just not. It's just how art works.
Nick and I have also agreed. It's just like you could make a lot of money pretty easily if you don't really care if it's ethical.
Yeah. Really
and,
can, yeah.
And I will say the thing with Roblox as well, like we Donnie even showed like games that he would make in Roblox, and I'm like, sorry, Donnie, you know that they were garbage. He was told that he led. I started that sentence wrong. But it's I think that's actually really cool that there is that avenue of like showing like, and I imagine like, I played a lot of games that are well thought through and big game loops, and these Roblox games are a lot of times really small, and I'm like, that's actually like probably teaching kids to make good little game loops or whatever. Many aspects of the Roblox thing we're sitting in horror over, like literally MS Paint drawn skins go for like $32,000, real $1,000 or whatever. And I'm like, why? It's LeBron James's JPEG face or PNG, or might as well be a JPEG with a non-transparent background on a gold chain or whatever. It's like the most mind-blowing stuff I've saw that day in horror. But at the same time, I'm like, there's probably a lot of kids that are gonna come up and then be like remember, for instance, I used to make like Minecraft skins all the time, like growing up or whatever. And like it's like they probably are gonna be like, oh, I remember in Roblox I used to like do that. So I think that's probably cool aspects. The weirdest thing about Roblox, and this will be the last thing, like for the Roblox part, but I thought the weirdest thing about Roblox is the fact that no one Minecraft is a quote kids game. We all play it. We've all played it. Fortnite is a kids game. We've all played it. We all know it. Roblox is a kids game. I don't know anyone my age that plays Roblox. Why is that? But apparently 50% of humans are playing it.
50% of teenagers.
Yeah, but I always just think that's weird, because I did play Roblox when I was like 12 or something like that. But it was like it was a completely different game. It was like the crappiest little thing in the world. Like it was like Lego guys on like a carpet floor that I was like playing as, and I was like, this is garbage. I'll go back to Minecraft, where there was no procedural generation left, and it was just a green square that you were digging into. Anyway, I thought that was like so wild, though. That's why I want to make a video on it, is because I think knowing my age range and demographic, I think that legitimately would be interesting, that question of why is this like a hidden game that like it's not in like the mainstream. Like even like parents know about Fortnite and Minecraft, but I don't know if all of them know about Roblox. I think a lot do now, but I just think that our generation, why don't we play Roblox and stuff like that? Why didn't that catch us?
It really flew under the radar for us a lot.
Yeah.
And like every time I hear new info about Roblox, I'm still shocked at like how extravagant and how big it is. It took over. And some point, somewhere between old school RuneScape and Fortnite and all these things that I love, Roblox just swooped in and stole everybody away, and they're just all there now.
It is one of those things. It's literally like, it was like around the time that probably like Fortnite was in its like save the world phase, that like the world was going to Roblox or whatever. Yeah. And then Fortnite blew up and took the mainstream. But I'm also surprised that like, Donnie was showing us the Roblox, and like, it's like a website still. And it's just like a crappy launcher and like horrible UI.
It still looks like an old like 2002 Flash site. It's so funny. It really reminds me of like Flash like websites, like ripped Flash websites where it was, fake games on there and stuff. It's hilarious. But they don't need to do anything. They're making billions. So it's just like, why change it?
Yeah.
Like, it's working.
Who is making billions? Not kids. I'll tell you that.
Not the kids. But I will say, I do think it's a cool pipeline for people to learn to make games and stuff. I mean, the guy who made Lethal Company started as a Roblox dev. Like, he was just making Roblox games. So
Oompaville just prototyped his game in it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to just be one more cool way for kids to get into game dev, and then eventually the ones who are really good at it and want to branch out of Roblox will, and the ones who want to be billionaires will stay there.
The ones who will want to most likely succeed,
they'll just stay on.
I have a quick question about your post-launch balance of support and continued development on the game.
Yeah.
And I know that bug fixes kind of fall under support, but when I say support, I more so mean managing a community, because I know what kind of a time investment that can be.
Yeah.
To respond to messages, make sure people have what they need, make sure no one's getting bullied, whatever. Just managing a community. Yeah. What's that been like for you?
It's a fighting game. There will be bullying. No.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I said,
take it on the game, take it to the streets.
I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised in that aspect, specifically because, like I said, when fighting games normally and come out. Everybody wants it to be a specific thing. Like they have the vision of the way it's going to work out, and then when it doesn't work out, they go and yell at you and tell everyone who mains the guy with the big sword that they're stupid and orcs and that you shouldn't be alive. So like I was fully exactly. So I was fully prepared.
The sword guy, not the second part of that.
yeah. I was fully prepared for, that kind of vitriol to carry over. And I mean, there's still some of it. I'm not going to lie. Some people just get mad when they lose. But like for the most part, like it's going okay. The community's been pretty good. They've been pretty nice. There were trolls in the first couple days who were pretending to be devs and specifically answering questions incorrectly on purpose to like just make people review the game worse. That was really fun to deal with.
Interesting.
But I have a community manager named Tengoku, and and him and Chip Dip are quietly in the background, just making sure everything kind of runs smoothly. But I have mostly, like I said, just been answering questions and fixing bugs, and every once in a while I'll pop in the other ones and just kind of have conversations with people about characters and tell them how wrong they are about why they think one character's broken, which is fun. It's very fun to do. I am actually surprised more devs
them with logic.
I'm actually surprised more devs don't do it just because it feels good. Like if I'm finally in a position where I can voice my opinion and it actually has more weight than the other person like speaking about the thing. Because like in Smash and stuff as a commentator, I learned a lot about frame data and what beats what and matchups and blah blah blah. And it's still kind of subjective at that point. But like in this game, someone will come in and they'll be like, you literally can't beat this character with this character. And I'll be like, you literally are playing the game wrong. Like, let me show you. And that feels fun. And I try to do it in like a lighthearted way. I'm obviously not just trying to like shit on this guy who's trying to play my game or whatever. But
a lot of R words.
Yeah. A lot of slurs being thrown. But no, everyone's been great. And it's like already a very inclusive space. And I don't know, it's just been cool. It's been cool to watch.
I want to ask too, like on that, have you taken anything and been like, oh, that actually is like kind of a good idea?
Yeah, I did it all the time, especially during the playtest phase. People.
I was going to say, like, especially with a game like this, I feel like with a fighting game on release, is it early access or is it technically it's full release?
It's technically released. Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to try early access stuff.
You only had 2 months. Just release the whole game. It's wild. But like, I think at this part. I wonder what this is like for you, but like you want to be careful not to be like, oh, the 1.0 version, this worked or whatever. Yeah. But not in a bug way, in a way of like, I could have killed him on this, but now I'm playing the 1.2 Ganondorf and like Ganondorf's like, 25% slower and like he was broken.
No, balancing stuff can be really hard. There was one patch I had to revert in 45 seconds. I watched like everything crumble because I just gave people the ability to get their air dash back if they got hit, because it was really hard to get out of combos, like certain combos. And some of those combos were really annoyingly boring. Like it was just doing the same move 10 times into the blast zone. And I was like, well, if I just give their air dash back, they'll be able to like spam it and get out of this
and jump out of it.
And it won't really cause any other problems. Like it's like I thought about it for a good 2 hours or whatever, and was like, I think you theory craft a lot with fighting games. And I was just like, it'll be fine. And I pushed that patch and I watched everybody get out of every combo and it ruined the game. It was like
Is this during playtest or is this after release?
No, this was after release. This is after release. I hopped into a
Did I play this one? Because I feel wait, sorry. When you get hit in air, like in Smash, you can up B again or whatever. Like special
yes. You can. Yeah.
You can in your game too, right?
You can. Yeah. So that's fine. But I'm talking about the air dash.
You're talking about when you're getting comboed.
Yeah. So when you're getting comboed, I added the ability to basically be able to air dash even if you've already burned your air dash. So it just gives it back to you. And thinking that it would, one, help people recover better who are bad at the game, which is always good. You always want to help people who are still new or still learning. And then two, it would just minimize the ability to spam the same move infinitely into the blast zone. But I hopped in a voice call because someone was like, dude, you need to stop. Like, you need to change this back. And I was like, nah, whatever. And I hopped in a voice call and I just silently watched like 6 people playing the game and they were all just miserable. They were all complaining and they were all like, oh my God, like what? Like he's killed the game. Like what has he done? And that, if you ever hear more than one person in your Discord in a fighting game say that you have killed the game, you have probably killed the game. Like you have probably done something that is not good. So without any more hesitance, I reverted that patch and was like, never mind, guys. It was live for like 10 minutes total.
I really want to ask, what kind of compromise might there be to still solve the problem, but not introducing
I was
a
going to say,
worse
did you end
problem?
up did you solve that in a way?
I already have it's like a weird system in the game called hit stun scaling, where if you do the same move over and over, it will cause less hit stun the more you spam it. And it's kind of like a queue, and it stays in the queue for 3 seconds. It's like boring, blah, 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 tech talk. But
are you talking about when you hit the parry button?
No, just any attack in
just
general.
in general.
So like if you're getting hit by an attack, and they do the same attack again, you'll be in less like stun. Like you'll be able to act earlier.
Okay.
So now if you spam, the up air 3 times, on the third up air, I basically won't be in disadvantage at all. I'll be able to just like get out. And that was already in the game. And I, at the same patch, when I made the air dash change, I also upped the percentage that it cuts the hit stun, which was probably enough. But and the air dash thing was just overkill. So I just reverted the air dash thing specifically and kept the newer percentage, and it's worked out pretty well so far. And then there's like
technical is some of the percentages in your game? Are they just like 2.76664278?
Yeah, and it's all just I guessed for like the majority of it. And when I was making the other platform fighter, I worked on it for 2 years, and I basically had no playtesters before I started doing betas and stuff, and I had just guessed on everything. And when I released it, like it was actually in a pretty good state. That was stuff I had to fix, but for the most part, it was working pretty well. So I just kind of trusted my gut this time and guessed on most things. And I was pretty close. I still have to change some stuff. But there wasn't a whole lot balance-wise that I needed to do to make the game feel better.
The next thing I was going to ask is, how much are you going to carry over from a few quick matches to your other fighting game? Are you going to like really try to port over a lot of what you've learned? Or do you maybe want to try different things with the other game?
So the cool thing, and part of the reason that I thought this game was a good idea, is because they're in the exact same engine. And so if there was a bug that wasn't character specific, because the gameplay is actually kind of mechanically pretty different, so I can't really port over stuff like that. But back-end stuff is exactly the same. So if there was a bug in this game, it existed in the other game. It just hadn't been found yet. So I'm able to port over like everything that I have fixed in this game to the other one, and we'll just have like a much smoother launch whenever that happens. So that was one of the nice benefits of making this quick game as well. So I'm not going to take any gameplay theory that I've kind of acquired, because they're two actually pretty different games. But yeah, backend stuff has been really helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, I think this has been like an awesome thing to witness, though. And like there was like inklings of, I was like, I think this is going to do really well, because it was when I saw it, I was like, this, if I didn't know you, I probably would have tried your game. Like I would have bought and tried the game. By the way, I bought the game. But, all right, that's obvious. I talked about it. And like, it was just a funny thing where I was like, I kind of, I did grow up with like watching those like stick figure kind of things. So you're hitting a big generation, even if we aren't like still in the community as it's thriving. And SSBM is obviously like has a huge audience, and like you said, it is the king. But like, people are looking for alternatives, especially PC players, because like, why am I not playing Smash right now? Because it's not on my PC. Like, I will probably be, and then when I did play it on Nintendo, the online just like stunk like every time I played it, where it's like, horrible. Hey, best fighting game in the world, like get your shit together. Because like you would have so many more people playing it if it didn't have, and like, now there's obviously like Nintendo Online Pass. I'm like, great, all right, it's brutal. Don't want to buy another console. I don't want to buy another online membership, and I don't want to buy an online membership that's going to suck and not connect at all, basically, and like lag out in the middle of my really technical fighting game every like 2 seconds. Yeah, dude, congratulations on everything. I think it's seriously awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to see like it grow. And by the way, I was just going to ask too, like, you have like 3 maps right now. I like how simple they are too. But do you think you're going to like make different like themes for them, like day and night and all that kind of stuff or whatever down the road?
Oh, actually, this week we're adding 3 more stages, and then there's a big balance patch tomorrow, and then some stage stuff before the tournament. I'm just kind of throwing everybody new stuff right before a $2,000 tournament, which I'm sure will go over well. But I want to make like there's day night cycles already in the base engine. I just have to implement it and figure it out. Yeah,
So
I just want to keep making stuff. I just want to keep making characters and keep making content. And
it's very inspiring, especially like somebody like me who's like kind of, on the path to making their first game or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
there's a lot of things that like I'm like, okay, like he is like releasing his game. He only has 3 characters and it works or whatever.
yeah,
Like I can't tell you how much the battle of, I mean, but the audience or whatever, just how much the scope creep battle is like insane.
bad.
And especially as an artist, it's like, well, I want it to at least look like this before I get started. But I'm like, well, one more thing or whatever. And it's just
Yeah,
that never ends and all that stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, to hear that you basically like created this in like 2 months, definitely some trial and error in the other game, but then
sure,
just
yeah,
like really be like, all right, let's get this like
yeah,
actually made. It's awesome. And we just come out like we came off of a game jam like just recently, like
yeah.
so it is possible to make good games in like 4 days. And if you don't believe that, go play a bunch of the games on itch.io that were just released for it. It's like
They're
it's nuts.
unbelievable. I will say, I had like a lot of help making this game. Plague obviously did all the background stuff, like all the back end stuff. But I will say, I think capping yourself in timelines is so good.
Yeah.
The other games that I was making, we really didn't have a timeline at all. We were just kind of working on it, and especially me, I was just working on it when I felt like it. And somehow, like I feel like 80% of game devs have ADHD, and if you just cap yourself, man, just give yourself a timeline and make yourself feel like you have to finish the game in that timeline, even if it's not real. I mean, I felt like I genuinely probably had to finish this game in 2 months because I was in financial trouble. And it was important. But even if I hadn't had that, if I had told myself like I have to finish in 2 months, it just would have been so much easier. And it forces you to stop working on certain things. Like I can't sit here and like work on the visual effects when a guy punches a guy for the next 3 days, because if I don't finish the rest of it, then there's no guy punching the guy. So yeah, I think really limiting yourself time wise is probably like the best advice I can give.
Yeah. And I learned that like I only got to participate in 2 days of the game jam for GMTK, and then I had family stuff I had to go to. But it was funny how much I like got done in those 2 days or whatever. That was like finding answers to problems, all that kind of stuff. It is very interesting, and definitely something that me and Nick are gonna implement in our pipeline for sure.
It's the old adage of tasks will take the time allotted to them, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta give yourself those like points of we're delivering this by this time or something as close to that as possible.
Yeah.
And that's why, personal milestones and things are a huge hack.
Yeah. And this is the first major project like this that I've ever actually been able to accomplish simply because of the time constraint. Normally, I would just work on like a meticulous thing over and over and over, and then I would just give up on the project eventually because I'm like, well, that took too long and it sucks now. Like, so.
Yeah. I also just think it's just very interesting, like how far like good simplicity of an idea can like take you or whatever. And I think like a few quick matches. I mean, even the title is humble or whatever in its description. It's like you execute that well, it completely works. Like I'm obsessed with roguelikes, and like there's so many ones that are just so simple that like I just keep coming back to. Like I was playing Enter the Gungeon like yesterday, and I'm like, I can't. Yeah. So and you were talking about movement too, and I'm like, if it felt like this when you're moving around in 3D, like that would be amazing. And Enter the Gungeon 2 is coming out soon. That's going to be sweet to see. But let's hop off. This is great. And yeah, always good talking to you. Congratulations on all your success, and looking forward to seeing how the game keeps growing.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome. It was fun.
Oh, give me a high five. Give me a high five. Yeah.
We stayed and looked at one of these.
I wonder if it is.
Still looking for the thing.
Georgia, Nicky's dead.
I know where it is.